Battered Spouse Syndrome. Social workers, even I have asked victims of domestic violence, both men and women, we asked them a simple question. How many times did you leave? Usually an abused person has to leave several times before that final time, before they're ready to be helped. It's a symptom of battered person syndrome. It's a form of learned helplessness. I didn't stop by to tell you about battered person syndrome, but it doesn't make sense to stay in a broken relationship just because there's nothing else to do. How many times have you left? You see, battered person syndrome is real. Both the prophet has it and the other woman has it. They both have it. Two broken people does not equal one whole person. They both are broken and they both have battered person syndrome. The symptoms is a cycle of re-experiencing the battering as if it was reoccurring even though it was not. Some of y'all saw Medea's family reunion. You get stuck in a cycle, trying to avoid the psychological impact of battering by avoiding activities and people who are trying to help you, trying to love you. You might even have a body image distortion. Maybe if I was prettier, maybe if I looked a certain way or wore certain clothes, maybe he or she wouldn't hit me. I put the blame on myself. Battered person syndrome. The abused fears for his or her life and for the lives of his or her children if they're present. The abused person has an irrational belief that the abuser is omnipotent and omniscient. It's a three-stage cycle found in domestic violence. First, tension builds in the relationship. Then the abusive partner releases the tension via violence and then blames the victim for doing it. And then the violent person makes gestures of contrition. They get a harp. They put some rose petals in the bathtub. I'm sorry. Fix yourself up. Battered person syndrome. The victim is not at fault, and the abuser is trying to control you. You feel both responsible and helpless, therefore stuck. In our story, both Hosea and Gomer find themselves stuck in an abusive relationship. You see, Gomer, she's being abused by the devil, and Hosea is being abused by his wife, and they both need heart transplants. And they both find themselves asking the question, why in the world did I get married? You see, whenever you look throughout the Old Testament stories, not only do the prophets experience this syndrome, but God himself experiences battered person syndrome. Or I call it BGS, battered God syndrome. He's constantly asking the question, why did I get married? He asked Moses, why did I bring these stiff-necked people out of Egypt just for them to abandon me? And as soon as I deliver them, they want to go back to their abuser. Why did I get married, Moses? And it got so bad by the time when the judges came around, I wondered, why do I put up with your abuse again and again and again and again? He asked Samuel, I've been providing for them all of these years, and you want a king? He asked Elijah, how long will you halt between two opinions? It got so bad, God was looking for a therapist. When he asked Jeremiah, what fault did your ancestors find with me that they strayed so far away from me? He says, my own people have amnesia. I reach out to them day after day after day, and they have forgotten me, days without number. Battered God syndrome. He asked Isaiah, he says, the ox knows his owner, but my people don't even know my name. Why did I commit to you again? I know what's inside of you. I know you're going to abandon me. Why did I get married to you, Israel? And the answer is always the same. I married them not because of anything that's inside of them. I married them because of the thing that's inside of me. I already know what's inside of them. Listen to me. He predicts that they're going to be abusive to him. I know they abuse me. I know that they hate me. I know that they treat me like dirt. But something is on the inside of me that makes me love broken and messed up people. I have battered God syndrome. You think your heart is messed up, Hosea. What about mine? When Israel was a child, I loved him as a son, and out of Egypt I called to him. But the more I called to him, the more he rebelled. I'm the one who taught him how to walk, lifting him up by the hand. But he didn't even realize it was me. My people are determined to turn away from me. Even though they call me God, I can't help them. Look at the struggle in his heart. He says, how can I give you up, Ephraim? How can I let you go, Israel? How can I treat you like Admah and Zeboim? How? My heart is churning within me. All of my compassion is aroused. I don't know what to do. I hate you, but I love you. Why did I get married to you? But you see, I will not carry out my fierce anger, nor will I devastate Ephraim again. You see, I am God and not a man. I am the Holy One living among you. You see, if I could just get her heart, then I can work everything else out. There is a restlessness in her heart, and I know that it's gotten to the place where instead of she's getting money, well, she's paying her lovers to come to her. But I have to have them. I'm like a magnet to their foolishness. I have battered God syndrome. Some scholars suggest that this is a story about a battered woman. And that's all right if you subscribe to that idea. But I suggest to you this morning, it's also about a battered God.